followed by the
there's the Yasuo ban.
immediate Yasuo ban. It was definitely deserved. So according to that guy, if you ban Yasuo, you're scared. So I guess they're scared, according to them.
Or follow me on this, smart.
Hey, never pick a fight.
I don't know. It's hard to say because maybe that guy has something else up his sleeve that'll absolutely run through the mid lane in the good way, not running it.
Alright, speaking of running it, Set and Garen picked off, followed by Morgana. Both teams knowing pretty much what they don't want to play against.
Garen is one of those champions that's just not fun to play against. So, I mean, I'm not surprised to see that ban. Syndra, also annoying. Annoying champion. Don't like really playing against it, but definitely manageable. But we do see Iron Mini Pod picking up the Ornn for Trigger Happy, sitting out here doing the things that need to be done. Followed by, it looks like a Gnar pick here from Trains. Now, it's really interesting to see that matchup because Gnar, being a ranged champion and also having percent HP damage, has the early game. It has the advantage for pretty much the entire game against Ornn, as long as he's able to manage his transformations and not openly fight too hard against Ornn without his ultimate in Mega. But we do see the supports coming out with a Lulu on the side of Smug Club? Jesus. I'm gonna keep messing that up, aren't I? Smug Club, and then the Aphelios and Nautilus on the side of Trigger Happy, and we've already seen what the Aphelios can do.
Yeah, of note, Nautilus was also one of the things that Angeloid had a big problem with last week. She was target banned last week though, so she didn't get to get her Lulu, which is one of her more preferred picks, in.
We do. Chat's popping off saying Vayne main in the chat.
Yeah, well, if you're kind of jokingly referred to as a Vayne main after popping off on a single Vayne game.
Vayne main.
Mordekaiser banned. Fizz banned as well.
Always a good man. Champ is annoying. Absurdly annoying. Really don't like playing against it. Meanwhile, I actually play that champion on my second account.
Ooh, Rengar banned off. Keeping that off of Ishan here.
Gengar. Malzahar, another really point-click champion that's not fun to play against. But let's see what these last couple picks are. I really want to see what these last couple picks are. Because they're missing what looks like a mid laner, and mid laners, and
Mid and jungle for both sides. Yeah, Anivia picked up for the imposter here. Ooh, now there's a pick after my own heart. Fiddlesticks, big fan, big fan.
I hate Fiddlesticks. He's such a busted champion. Can confirm.
Ooh, and a Vladimir pick for the mid. That guy going to go Vlad this time.
Yeah, Vlad is one of those champions I don't think can stand up to Anivia very well. Can obviously avoid the Flash Frost on her Q, but really can't do much else to her with the extra range. And I'm not actually sure, as far as my game knowledge goes, and it's really extensive, I actually don't know if Vlad can pull like underneath the Anivia wall. I don't think he can.
I don't think he can either. I think it counts as terrain, and he can't pass through terrain.
I know he can't pass through terrain, but there are some artificial terrains that he's able to get out of, like for example the Yorick wall, for example. But
I'm sure we'll have an answer soon enough when we get in the game.
But now that we are waiting on the spectator delay, a whole 3 minutes with just me and my buddy Toxichrome here, even though he hasn't really been toxic today. Really wondering where that guy went. But yeah.
Well, let's take a second to really analyze these team comps here.
Okay. We've got I mean, unless you want me to do it.
Yeah, go for it. Your game knowledge is far more superior than mine. I'm just a better personality.
Hold on. Better personality? Monka S. Anyway. As far as the first and foremost, we have our front line. We've got front line coming in from Nautilus and Ornn, Gnar, and Sejuani. A very, very good front line on both sides. Cannot really complain about it too much. Got plenty of wave clear coming out from the Anivia on the side of Smug Club. And the wave clear seems to be a little bit lacking as far as trigger happy goes. Vlad is able to do that decently well if the wave is able to get underneath the tower or somewhere where he can do that safely, but with the Anivia it might prove to be very difficult to do. As far as AD carries go and support, we've got an enchanter to run with 2 tanks, or with a tank and a bruiser rather, because Gnar's considered a bruiser. So you have plenty of sustain throughout these long drawn out fights, and the team fight aspect is really difficult. It's really difficult to say in terms of like who has the better team fight, because although you have the Sejuani, Anivia, the double Freljord, just any double Freljord comp is actually just pounding in CC, but you've also got the added CC coming from Gnar if he's able to get good Mega Gnars off. But on the flip side, you can also argue that the Ornn Nautilus combination can always set up the Fiddlesticks ult. So it's like, it really depends on who pulls the trigger first. If I feel like it's gonna go into the favor of trigger happy later into the game,
Oh yeah, I like the scaling of Team Trigger Happy here. You have Ornn, Aphelios, and Vlad, all of which are those inevitable champions that we talked about earlier. So I feel like if the game goes super late, it definitely tilts in favor of Team Trigger Happy.
Which is true, but then we also have to take into account the Vayne, from the Vayne main, as Chad has been calling it. So we have the Vayne main, who can always be able to shred through the Nautilus and the Ornn, and later into the game as it goes, probably will have 2 crit items, which will also allow Vayne to just immediately pop Aphelios and Fiddlesticks if given the chance. So I think it's going to come down, like this game itself is going to come down to how well the junglers play through their lanes. Because if Fiddlesticks is able to pop off really well early into the game, or even into the mid game, and find some really good key ultimates, it's going to prove extremely difficult without some nice items coming in from nice defensive options coming in from Smug Club. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. It's going to be an interesting game.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited about this game. I like both team comps a whole lot.
Oh yeah, both of these team comps, I can get behind both, because I feel like, and like even when it comes to engage, you have plenty of engage on both teams too. I don't think I talked about that with the Sejuani and Nivea's long range Qs if really necessary. And then on the flip side, you've got the Fiddlesticks ultimate, the Ornn ultimate, and the Nautilus ultimate, who can all just really get in there and set up Vlad really well. If like there are any strikers after the Vlad Fiddlesticks, Vlad puts out a lot of damage in team fights, as well as Fiddlesticks if he's able to get good ults off. But it's like I said, the game's really going to come down to how well Fiddlesticks is able to combo his ult or find picks with his ult. Unless, of course, Sejuani and Lulu opt into some more defensive options for the team. I really want to see what the build paths are, because Anivia opting for the imposters, Anivia opting for the electrocute instead of anything like Comet or even Spellbook, which I've seen a lot of on Anivia lately. And I think Spellbook might have been the move this game, but that's just my own personal preference on it. It's not like it's a good thing or a bad thing. We see some pings for a 5-point start. Are we actually going to see it?
I mean, more or less.
Seems as though we are going to see the 5-point start. I'm really happy about that.
Oh, you missed a double 5-point start yesterday.
What? That's amazing.
Our last game of the day, both teams lined up perfectly on a 5-point start.
I really want to see more 5-point starts. It's actually wonderful. Because it just prevents anything from happening. And especially with teams that want to scale. Because Anivia and Vayne just want to scale. And Vlad and Aphelios want to just scale. But the question is Vince going to start his red buff? Because it seems as though that's going to be the case.
Vince taking his red buff here. Probably gonna go straight like for bot side gank here. You go hit chickens and then blue and then gank. Is that level 3?
Run through.
I need a jungler. Red, chickens, blue. Is that
No,
level 3 or is that still level 2?
it's still level 2. After they
Oh,
nerfed.
good hook down bot lane.
Some good damage put down, but Angeloid starting off with the starting with the shield, not with the with the shield, able to keep Vayne very much healthy there. But yeah, essentially you have to do 2 camps aside from your buffs to hit level 4. Whether you also include the crab there as one of your 2 other camps is besides the point, because you will hit level 3 either way on those. Whether you opt for the second camp of yours or if you go for the crab, you still hit level 3. But Sejuani is one of the champions that needs to be level 3 before a gank, and Fiddlesticks, whose early ganks are not the greatest in the world without good setup, but they will run into each other here. Smite is available from Vince, but opting not to go fight him there without the prio and bot lane. Because as we see, Trolled and Noob able to easily walk up and scare Vince off of that crab.
He's Sean here, just kind of walking through mid lane.
Looking for the second crab, and doesn't look like Vince is going to be able to return fast enough just to get there, so it's just going to go here and pick up the frog. But take a quick look at the CS differences across the board, it seems as though that guy on the Vladimir so far is able to really push this CS lead with a big wave pushing into him. He's also up 10 CS.
I think that not having mana concerns is a big factor in that.
I don't think the mana was even an issue here, because Imposter still at full mana has yet to.
Ooh, solo kill coming in top lane. Flash is used, but just a hair too late, and Train's gonna pick up the first kill of the game onto that Gnar of his.
Yeah, Gnar, I would say, even counters Ornn in that aspect, because he can ignore a lot of his resistances with the percent health damage, as well as being a range champion with a lot of mobility. Can just continue to do what he does and abuse Ornn and keep him from getting to his level 14. that might spell disaster because Nara is one of those really volatile champions that once he gets ahead.
Ishan looking mid here. It's gonna flash into his fear and start putting some work onto this Agnivia, who's eventually gonna fall. Agnivia is killed. That guy getting the kill onto the Vlad, and JP Vince taking a ton of damage here. We'll get out though. The stun from Sejuani being enough to keep him alive, but not by much.
And seeing Angeloid here in the mid lane and not with Oliver down here in the bot lane only gives me the impression that Troll the Noob and Vape are just sitting in positions, what like they are now, to really pick off Oliver without Angeloid around. But Oliver being patient, waiting for the support to come back, opting to just miss some CS rather than lose 300 gold to a kill. Dragon still up on and hasn't been taken. Yeah, but it seems as though a lot of the vision being placed by Smug Club is trying to gain control of the vision around the dragon, but the dragon pit. Imposter also heading down, trying to come with Vince to really hit this bot lane hard right now. With no vision, they are going to walk right into this. Able to cancel.
Great knockup. Lots of damage going down. The Condemn lands. This could be a quick kill. Well, if you're getting one kill, or no, both kills actually going to the Sejuani here. But Fiddlesticks is here as well. That is a monstrous ult, and a ton of damage is going to go down. Kills are going to be traded back and forth with Sejuani picking up yet another kill. Well, if you're doing his best to get out here as TPs are burned, and I Am Minipod makes his way bot lane.
Both teleports being blown. Not both. The one teleport being blown from I Am Minipod, but the one from Train's not coming in here. Train's opting to pick up the extra tower gold here instead, but that ended up being a 2-for-3 trade in the favor of Smug Club. But like I said, if Fiddlesticks is able to continue to do what he just did, if Ishan's Fiddlesticks continues to find really good team fights like that, it's not going to be good for Smug Club later into the game, because he was able to pop, what was that, 4-man ult?
Yeah, that was a massive ult. And because they had no vision on him, he also got the fear off, and that was just absolutely devastating.
Still only able to take out 2 of them. Luckily, the fight was messy enough so that Dragon wasn't taken.
Speaking of Ishan, he's going pretty deep into the enemy jungle here to do some counter jungling of his own.
And Fiddlesticks
taking the
do this.
Yeah, just able to casually take multiple camps simultaneously.
I always thought that was a really interesting thing that like better Fiddlesticks players would do, where they are able to just stand in between 2 camps and actually just tank them both, because that's how strong the drain is. I also like how it's called Bountiful Harvest now instead of Drain.
Yeah, definitely a more pro name. Meanwhile, we have a massive fight down bot lane, so Vape's going to get picked off pretty quickly, as the Lulu ult will make this Vayne absolutely massive. Troll the Noob going to do his best to get out here, but it's not going to be enough, as Sejuani gets yet another double kill here.
And I'm not sure that they want these kills on the Sejuani here. I don't think Vince even wanted these kills. I'm pretty sure that he would definitely have preferred it on Oliver. But no matter, being down about 12 kills and being 12 CS, excuse me, as well as picking up that dragon will give plenty of gold anyway. 800 gold to spend from Oliver will end up in hopefully boots and a dagger. 2 daggers, because I can't do math apparently. No, probably picked up 900 on the way back. But no matter. The Nard still down in CS despite the TP play earlier. But up in gold thanks to the 2 tower plates and the kill. But otherwise, everything else is going just the way you would want it to be, slowing the game down quite heavily. But that guy really proving to really be efficient with his farming. 96 CS, or hitting 100 CS, almost only 10 CS off of the glorious 10 per minute. Which for all of our viewers out there, 10 CS per minute is like the goal in any given game. If you're hitting that, you're doing really well for yourself. Anything higher than 10 CS per minute, you're a god at CSing. Or you're just farming 2 lanes. But there's not a whole lot of vision. The Rift Herald is being popped here in the mid lane. Imposter being forced away. But Vince is here on the backside trying to fight that guy on his own. I don't think that'll work out too well, and Ishan able to escape with his life. No issues there. Just a little bit of damage going out.
Bot lane looks to be getting interesting here in just a second as the lane is shoved, but Trolldanoob and Survey will opt out of doing the dive as Angeloid comes back to lane now.
And Trains is here behind Minipod, probably looking towards for a kill here, but with the E not readily available when he showed up because he used it on the Scuttle Crab, is not going to be able to find enough damage to kill him.
Meanwhile, JP Vince down bot lane yet again, looking to get the stun onto the Nautilus before flashing out, missing the ult on a Savate, who's going to get out here just fine. Trolldanoob looking to re-engage here, but both sides going to eventually just walk away from each other.
The teleport trick used from Imposter to save his life.
Oh, up top lane, looks like we have a nice little fight going on as Trains is looking to duke it out. Minipod taking the blast cone out.
And for those who are unaware or did not see, Anivia has this one really cool trick where if you know you're going to die in a fight, you are able to channel your teleport before going into egg, and the teleport will not get interrupted. I always thought it was a cool Anivia trick.
Most certainly something I was not made aware of, but it is very clever and a good use of unique mechanics.
So Vince back here again. They're really trying to get this Vayne fed. Lalafer able to pick that up, and now that Minipod is here with a Vayne, 2 tanks against Vayne is never going to turn out too well. But she does not have the attack speed to really shred through them just yet. Might be able to pick up Trolldanoob, not quite, but the TP coming in from both top laners still ends up in a 1-for-1 trade with trading to Vape for Angeloid there, which I think is a net gain for Smug Club, seeing as how they were finally able to find a kill onto our Vayne main Lalafer here. And now that the Blade of the Ruined King is finished, Lalafer will be able to be doing quite a bit of damage to these people that have health.
Ooh, big ult down mid lane as Ishan looks to get the solo kill. Flash is used, but it's not quite enough, and Nivea's going to fall. And Ishan's going to pick up a solo kill all by himself.
Yeah, you really gotta be careful when playing against Fiddlesticks because he can appear out of nowhere.
Smite going down, the 50-50 Smite going to the side of Team Trigger Happy. Fiddle's not missing his Smite for anything, as it looks like it's going to be a particularly poor fight for Smug Club here, as this Fane's going to pick up a kill, though.
That looked at the very beginning of that as if Lawler would be able to outplay it, but not quite.
Ooh.
But with the Anivia wall going out,
flash hook. Ooh, super unfortunate kill. Anivia dying there under tower again. That was a fantastic flash hook by Troll the Noob to secure that kill. Pops his ult just to make sure it goes down.
I don't think they want that.
This could be unfortunate. Yeah, Tower is going to take the kill onto the Fiddlesticks. JP Events looking for the 1v2 here. Might be able to get it just fine. Troll the Noob getting pretty low here. But JP Events is also taking a lot of damage from Iron Minipod here.
Just ignoring Minipod rather than just fighting Minipod.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's going to cost him his life, as Angeloid's going to try to run up and help a little bit, but not be enough.
Wallifer and Angeloid's ultimate's not available. The focus really seemed to be off, because I think Vince might have been able to actually take on Minipod there if he focused that instead. But the Rift Herald is going to be picked up by that guy. Really, really doing well this game. Up 54 CS over the Imposter here, as well as 2 kills to his name. Picking up the Protoball and opting directly into the Death Cap, which he will have the gold for in another 100 gold, which will make Vladimir a very, very important and powerful champion. But
Ooh, hook going out and landing onto Angeloid. Ults popped as well. Troll the Noob really looking to take out the enemy support. However, Vayne's here and is going to help protect the support of Angeloid. That guy's here as well, though, and that's a lot of damage potential. Polymorph goes down. That guy eating a fair bit of damage. Lollifer doing plenty of damage on this Vayne. Angeloid having to pop ult to save himself underneath tower. As the Fiddlesticks ult goes down, lots of things are happening all right now. Trains is in really big danger as JP Events tries to make something happen, but Savape is in the back line doing tons of damage. That's a dead Anivia, as spells will be thrown, and Rift Herald will be dropped down bot lane to force this bot tower. Oh, great hook from Troll the Noob once again. JP Events having to flash out. Tower is going to become sieged down. Shelly goes for the charge. Looks like it's going to be a second charge onto the inhib tower here, and it may be 2 towers taken for Team Trigger Happy here, and the Nexus is under siege as Shelly gets a 3rd charge out.
absolutely wonderful play. But this is exactly what I meant, was if Fiddlesticks was able to find his leads and find these really good ultimates early into this game, it will be very difficult for Smug Club to deal with him. And without any items to really counter the Fiddlesticks right now, it's extremely difficult to deal with him. Because currently Lollifer is their ticket to getting back into this game, but they do not have the tools to protect her. Ocean Dragon coming up here in a minute. And since it is an Ocean Rift, there are significantly more of these wonderful bushes that are around for that Ishan's Fiddlesticks is going to love.
Speaking of Fiddlesticks, one of the massive benefits of having a Fiddlesticks on your team is the vision bonus that you get. It's not often that you see a 29 award score at 20 minutes off of a jungler, and as a support main and a Fiddlesticks fan, That's super beneficial.
And without the proper vision anywhere near this Baron, they Trigger Happy is able to just take it without any issue before rotating down for this dragon. Ultimates are all available across the board, so this is going to be quite the explosive fight.
This is a big gnarl, but just shy of getting the stun. Can't quite get it in. Lots of damage coming down. So Vape is becoming absolutely massive here. The Fiddlesticks at ult, not even super relevant. As Vape manages to drop a massive ult off of this Aphelios and do a ton of damage.
It looks like they might be trying to just push in this Nexus through the bot lane. Because they are going to catch out Imposter here. Which means now Imposter is going to be down for 30 seconds, but there will be 4-on-4 as the Baron empowered super minions are beating down this tower with double the demolish procs here. Troll the noob a little bit too far forward.
Yeah. That guy eating a fair bit of damage here, but it doesn't seem to matter as Vape's just in the back line doing free damage into the enemy team. Ishan popping ult just to get almost under tower. He's going to manage to help secure the kills, and this will be the end of the game as that guy just secures a triple kill into the ace as Anivia tries one last desperate attempt to get a kill or to slow them down, and the game will be over with that. And well, that was an explosive end for a very interesting game.
It definitely picked up pace, like heading into the mid game. But after Ishan started popping off, it was almost impossible for them to really for Smug Club to really come back together and really get that under control.
Looking at the damage charts real quick while we start to work on an interview, I would just like to point out that the difference in damage between that guy and Ishan on the Fiddlesticks and Vladimir respectively is less than 100.
Because they were really pumping out the damage in the team fights, and it wasn't until later into the game where the grouping really shown, where you saw Vape really going in on these fights as well. Even with only an Infinity Edge, I still think that it was really that guy and Ishan who were really out here pumping out the damage in these team fights.
Absolutely. Ishan showing us how strong Fiddlesticks can be. And speaking of which, it looks like we have our wonderful victim for the interview.
Good. How are you?
Excited.
Yeah. You just kept coming off the win, popping off on the Fiddlesticks, calling it a good game.
Yes, sir.
So take me through where did you think in Champion Select? Actually, let's start there. In Champion Select, when you see the Fiddlesticks and you see their team comp, what's running through your mind as you're loading into the game? What is your game plan to start the game off?
As Fiddlesticks, you have to do three main factors. He's very different from other junglers. You have to look for the divers, look for the backline, and then look for CC threats. So with their team, my main backline threats were going to be the Anivia and Vayne with the Lulu as a support for them. And then my main divers were going to be Gnar and Sejuani, with CC coming from Anivia, Sejuani, and Gnar. The worst feeling on Fiddlesticks is when your ult gets cancelled, so you have to watch for CC and make sure that your ult does not get cancelled. That's literally the whole champion. So when you get your ult cancelled, you basically be a useless champion. So you have to make sure to get the ult in. And so what we have to do is we see our team comp is way better in the late game. We have 4 hyper-scaling champions with a CC bot support. So we just played for that. And then we got for that lead, and then together with that guy, like me and him have been practicing a lot on how to work with the fiddlesticks in, because early game he doesn't provide as much pressure because of his weak ganking until level 6. But then after, he does provide an immense amount of pressure. So that's why that guy playing a mid laner like Vladimir, which he's really, really good at, he is able to play safe and get a CS lead himself. And then when I'm 6, we're able to convert that into multiple objectives. And the more we scale, the more our team goes. Like because we're the main AoE threats. So we just wait for our AoE to get ready, and then team fights are just over.
That's good. Now, another question that I'm sure chat wants to know is, how did you guys feel about the Yasuo ban?
Man, we thought you guys were literally like telling them our strats, you know?
What do you mean telling them your strats? OP.GG is a thing. They can clearly see that's.
But
like,
you reminded them. See, it was
reminded
in the forefront.
them. They're gonna scout you guys anyways. I don't see how that works out.
Yeah, maybe, but either way, we really wanted to play Yasuo. We were really trying to get that Yasuo.
Yeah, you guys are claiming that as if like the entire audience doesn't already know. After I've been spouting about that guy's Yasuo.
Yeah, I mean that guy does have the best Yasuo in the league. I would say that.
Until I play Yasuo. Go on.
Oh, might have to see a 1v1.
Supposedly that's something that's happening later, but we'll see how that works out. But Monochrome, you got any other questions for boy Yushan here?
Yes, actually. So after this rather commanding victory, how do you feel going on further into this league? Are you scared of any particular team at the moment, or do you think you can take on all comers?
So we definitely think that we stand a good chance against all teams. Now, we definitely do respect the OGs like Iron Dragons. They're definitely up there. So we are definitely looking to get a win against them this season. But we do think that we stand a good chance just because we have really good comms and we have really good synergy between our players. So we're able to mesh really well together and coordinate for plays, and no one really is off the same page. So I think that's one thing that gives us an advantage. And also, we're like all players that are trying to improve. So we steadily look at every game trying to improve and get better, you know? So I think that we stand a good chance, and hopefully that we have a good run in this league.
Well, I'm going to say good luck to you, because I'm sure Iron Dragon is not going to who has the target on their back to every team, it seems like, who's already been taken down once. I'm sure they're not going to want to take another L this season.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm coming for Ain't Your Mommy.
Oh, thank you for the interview yet again. We're going to head out for a little bit as we head into break. We do have up next Kisses for Cats versus Juliet Duck, so you do not want to miss that next explosive game.
You guys have a great day. Take care.
Thank you. You too.